Welcome to the Extraordinary Executives Podcast, where business owners like you share their experiences, insight, and lessons learned. So grab your cup of coffee or tea and get ready for an engaging conversation. Here's your host, Randy Jones.
Welcome to another episode of the Extraordinary Executives Podcast Show. I'm your host, Randy Jones, and we have a phenomenal guest today, Mr. Juan Umanzor, the CEO and founder of Umanzor and Associates. He has a heart made of gold, a passion for people, and is definitely an extraordinary executive. Welcome, Juan.
Thank you, Randy. It is an honor to be here, and thank you for shining light in this world we live in.
Outstanding.
So it is an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm glad that you're able to make it. And I guess the way I want to start it is really just asking you the question, so tell me about Umanzor and Associates, or better yet, tell me how you got started and why you started. Tell me a little bit about Juan.
Okay, well, I tell you what, Andy, I came to this land of opportunity in 1996. I did not speak English at all. And I started this adventure in the United States at the age of 20. So I started in the restaurant industry, and I started passing tables, worked my way up to a head waiter. And in the meantime, I was going to college, going to school, learning the English. Wasn't until 2000 when I bought my first house, and I did not have a great experience in real estate. And so there was nothing else for me to do at that restaurant. And then I decided to get my license in 2002. Then at that time, the real estate industry was starting to boom. And end of 2002, I got my license, started part-time. That year, part-time, I sold 17 houses. It was amazing. And that first year I started, I actually bought my first investment property. One of the things that I was told as soon as I started the real estate, you got to become your best client yourself. So, because if not, you're always going to be chasing the deal.
Right.
So, and I've been doing that. And that's one of the things that, has been amazing in my career.
Right.
Now, very quickly in 2004, I started, building a team. I had an assistant, and then another agent joined my team. So I started that in 2004, and that year, that was my first year, and I sold 43 properties that year. Wow. And I bought three more investment properties that year. Quite amazing, going from like making $35,000 a year to making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. That's very challenging, especially, a boy coming from the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Dirt roads. There was not even power where I grew up. I saw TV for the first time in my life when I was 10 years old.
Wow.
So, coming to America and, building this American dream has been quite amazing. Now, Umanzor and Associates, was born in 2005, and now I have 20 agents and 3 assistants. It actually, I believe in divine intervention. Everything I do is because God's mercy, and He allows me to do what I do. I love people, and I have a passion for what I do, and I love helping people. And people sees that. And my team members, they all have come to me. I am not recruiting people. They all come to me.
Wow.
And it's just amazing what we have. This year, our goal is to help, 400 families, and we've done over 100 families already. So we are very blessed, and, we're just beginning.
Right. So here's a question. I've seen you. We've had conversations. You wear many hats. So what's your role in the business? Are you more on the business, in the business, or on a day-to-day basis? What role does Juan play in your entire company?
Well, I'm a leader that that's what I preach. So I'm teaching, I'm on the field.
Right.
I'm teaching my agents, my team, to do what I do.
Wow.
So, and I'm providing them with, lead and my expertise, my knowledge in a daily basis. So I'm on the field. I'm not just telling you what to do, but I'm there with you. One of my saying is, if you're working, I'm working 24/7. So I'm with you. So that's how I lead, by example.
Now, here's the thing. A lot of people get into real estate and, they told that it's a great way to create an awesome career. The sky's the limit, so to speak. But not everybody's successful. What do you think has contributed the most to your success? I mean, you immediately jumped in. You didn't speak English, and you are continuously exceeding the previous year's goals. What has contributed to your success?
That's a great question, Randy. And I've seen it happen many times. I have seen people come and go in the industry, in my team. But real estate is not for everybody. There is a misconception that people think it's quick money, you can get rich, this and that. It's not like that. One of the things that I realized over time is that if you follow money, you'll never have it. This is not about, being rich, but rather providing value and helping people. And you got to have the passion to do that. Because if you don't have that passion, you're not going to do well. And, it's simply not for you. So that's what makes the difference. Having the passion and loving what you do and, helping people. I think that's what the essence is.
I think an interesting thing that you said is that you lead by example. You're out there working if they're working. And even when they're not working, you work to inspire them. So, I mean, you've grown a team. And I often hear people, and when I do this podcast, I remind people, team stands for together, each achieves more. For business owners who are listening to this podcast, what do you think has been essential or an essential part or a key element in your ability to build teams? And who are some of the best partners that if somebody says, hey, I want to start my own real estate company or get in the business of real estate, who are key team members that you have, and what are some key attributes of building a team?
That's a great question as well. My mentor, when I started this career 20 years ago, says, Juan, you got to surround yourself with great people. Okay. If you're an agent, solo agent that is just starting, okay, you got to build a team. And by building a team, I don't mean to become a real estate team or getting more agents, but rather people that you trust that are going to be there for you. And I'm going to cite some examples. So you need to get, attorneys, contractors, engineers, accountants, landscapings, contractors. So all these people will form your team of people that you trust and that you do business with, because these people, you got to be a one-stop shop. When somebody comes to you for your expertise, you got it. And that's what's going to make the difference. Surrounding yourself with the best people you trust, people that are going to help you. I mean, that's what you need. Wow. And then you will succeed and do great.
So here's the thing, real estate agents, a lot of times people say that, there are lots of them. You have people like my aunt's a real estate agent, my barber's a real estate agent, my, landscaper's a real estate agent. With the world constantly changing and there being so much competition out there, how have you been able to weather the storm? You said you started your company like 2004. So that means you're still doing business even past, the 2008 and 9 blow up. How have you guys been able to weather the storm in different economic things? The rates are going up right now, but being able to maintain your success, how do you do that?
Well, that's a natural thing. We are evolving every day. And you got to get with the program. The way business was 40 years ago is not the way business is handled today. So we need to work on ourselves, update ourselves every single day. And how you do that? By going to trainings, networking, learning every single day. You got to show up. You got to be in the field. You got to be connecting with people. So I'm going to give you an example. When I started, which was 2003, business was booming, and it kind of was easy to start getting clients. I'm not walking advertising. I didn't actually did any advertising for the past, for the first couple of years. My accountant was like, Juan, where are your expenses? I had no expenses because I'm not walking advertising. I go anywhere, and everybody had to know that I'm in real estate. But 2007 hit and the bubble burst. So people did not want to know anything about real estate. People were losing houses. There was a lot of chaos going on. So what did I do? Okay, where are the needs? So there are people facing foreclosures. Banks are in need of agents to help them with the foreclosure. So I started working foreclosures. I started working short sales. When chaos or storm is, there's opportunity. Right. So you got to take advantage of that. So that put me to a different level. I remember one time having like 95 active listings. And that was just when everybody was going out of business.
Wow.
So you got to get the program and you got to change, because if you're not willing to change, you'll be out of business. And I saw many agents, says, I don't want to know anything about yourself. Even banks at the beginning, they didn't even want to entertain a short sale.
Right.
So guess what? They end up losing hundreds of thousands of dollars because they didn't want to work with it. So that's what happened. If you don't get with the program, if you don't update yourself, you're going to fail.
Right. So I guess based on that, you've had lots of success, but you've learned a lot of lessons as well. So say that somebody's listening to this and they are in real estate. What have been some of your challenges as well in growing your company? And then how did you overcome them?
Well, the challenges is finding somebody that works at the same speed you do. Fulfilling our clients' needs, like especially in these times that we've been having lack of inventory.
Right.
Buyers are been struggling to, get a home, especially first-time home buyers. And now that the interest rates are, going up, that's another challenge. But we have to think outside the box. We have to be creative in the way we do things. All right, what is it gonna take to find a buyer a home? I partnered up with wholesalers. I go to neighborhoods. I do targeted marketing to see what I can get for my clients. I just got to find, fulfill my clients' needs, and I got to figure it out.
Right.
Thinking outside the box.
So you learned a lot of lessons, Juan. And you said you came here, you didn't know English, you educated yourself, you improved, and you're constantly evolving. I know you personally, just how big your heart is. If you were having a conversation with the younger Juan, and it was 10 years ago, what would you tell yourself based on what you know today?
You are your best asset. Invest in yourself. Work on yourself every single day to better yourself. Now, in my case, that will be essential, but then invest in real estate because that's what I know. That's what I do. So invest in real estate and just be the change you want to see in the world. Just like, Gandhi says, you must be the change you want to see in the world. And then when you give and just pour out to the world, you will get it in return. Sometimes people says and complain, things happen to me and this and that, and they're just ask yourself, what are you doing? Because what you give is what you get.
Right.
So yes, take care of yourself, love yourself, and you got to believe in yourself that you're the greatest human being ever alive that God created.
Outstanding. Well, I can't say that you're short of confidence. And so now a lot of things when it comes to real estate, and some of them, deal with one side versus another side. But as you grow a team, you deal with both sides. And like you said, you did listing, but then you now also talked about how you help your buyers. So who's your ideal client, or what's your sweet spot when it comes to growing your business and helping your team grow?
Well, I will say, Randy, that if somebody has a need for real estate, I am that person. It really doesn't matter, whether it's, a $50,000 client or a $2 million client. it does not matter to me. If you have a real estate need and I can fulfill that need, that is my client. You are my client. Actually just met with a client that, I went to her home and we did numbers, evaluated the situation. She signed off the listing agreement. And then, she wanted to still live in the area. And then I said to her, I'm sorry, I don't think this is possible. And based on that, I said, it is better for you to keep your home. There is nothing out there that you will be able to get with your budget. And your home is the best option for you. So I advised her to stay in her home. And that was the best for the clients. So just advising your clients the best way possible, finding the best solution for them. So that's my client. Anybody who has a real estate need, doesn't matter what it is. And it doesn't have to materialize to anything. But if I actually provided value to you with my knowledge and my expertise, I am winning, because that's what I am.
So here's another part of that question. You're very successful at building a team. Who's an ideal person, or what's the sweet? What do you look for when it comes to adding a person to your team?
I always tell every team member that wants to come to my team, I'm going to give you an opportunity regardless of where you're coming from. I'm going to give you an opportunity, and it's on you to prove that you deserve this opportunity. So I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to say anything. I want you to try. I want you to do great, but you got to prove it to me that you're worth this opportunity. So, and again, God put me just great people in my path, and, I'm here to help people. And regardless of your background or where you're coming from, I'm here to help.
That's amazing. I like the way that you phrase that. You don't offer people a job, you offer them an opportunity. That is awesome. I think that changes the way a person thinks about what's being provided to them. So Juan, what's next for you? Continued growth, or maybe some type of exit strategy, conquering the world? What's next for you, Juan?
Well, that's exciting. Randy, I feel that I'm just beginning. We are writing a story every day. You are the author of your story. And I would challenge people to think, about it very deeply, and have chapters, how you want this chapter of your life to be called. Okay. I want you to think about that. And then you start building on that. For me, I'm going to tell you that this chapter of my life is called Unfolding My Legacy. Okay. And why do I want to call this Unfolding My Legacy? Because it's all about pouring out there, giving back to the community, making a difference. Okay. When I got into real estate, it was never about money, and it's never been about money. But now I feel that I'm so blessed that I don't even deserve what I have. And I just want to give back, pour myself out there and just make a difference in this world. So anything that has to do with empowering community, building bridges, informing, connecting, I'm all about that.
Right. So I guess outside of more clients, what would be the one thing that would move the needle in your business?
Well, again, what I just said aligns with what I want to do for the future, just giving back, helping people. That's what I want to do. I want to, be a light in this world. Wow. And I honestly, I'm not expecting anything else. And I'm just going to be giving. That's what I want.
Wow. That's awesome. So for those who are listening to this podcast today, and there are all types of businesses listening, not just people who are involved in real estate. I asked you a lot of questions, but what last piece of advice would you give to the business owners who are striving to be an extraordinary executive just like you are? What last bit of advice would you give them?
Well, don't be afraid to fail Find a passion, try different things. If it doesn't work out, look for a different route. There are different ways to get to a destination. Believe in yourself, work on yourself. Okay. Do not compare yourself to nobody. Also believe that you have no competition, that you are the only competition, yourself. And you got to work on yourself every single day. Make little steps every single day. Have faith. Keep going. Keep going. That you are actually every single day, you are a step closer to what you want to be.
Well, thanks so much. Once again, we have been talking to Mr. Juan Umanzor of Umanzor and Associates, an extraordinary executive who not only makes a profit in his company, a difference in his people, but an impact in his community. Thanks, Juan. Really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure and at your disposition. So it's been amazing. Thank you.
No problem.
This podcast is for informational purposes only. Guest speakers and their firms are not affiliated with or endorsed by PAS, Guardian, or Financial Growth Partners, and opinions stated are their own. Randy is a registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities, LLC, PAS, OSJ 11350 McCormick Road, Suite 202, Hunt Valley, Maryland. 21031-410-828-540. Securities, products, and advisory services offered through PAS, member FINRA SIPC. Financial representative of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, Guardian, New York, New York. PAS is a wholly owned subsidiary of Guardian. Financial Growth Partners is the DBA name of IAPA, LLC, a wholly owned subsidiary of Guardian. 2022 139 007 624.